trapped in a maze, small business owner. Stress had me in a daze, every problem piled up, couldn't catch a break. Thought I couldn't make it, my dreams were at stake. But then I found a group that changed my whole perspective. Our success group of a community so effective. We all chasing that dream, sharing struggles and fears. They understood my journey, wiped away my tears. Together we broke through, we rise above. No more feeling stuck, we're fueled by love. Our small business is shining, reaching new heights with the support of our success group. We're taking flight with our words strong, with vision so clear, building our dreams with no more fear. Together we're resilient, unstoppable force with our success group.
Let's talk some business.
All right, welcome in. All of you small business rock stars, welcome to Small Business Saturdays. I am so glad you're here because we need more people like you in the world who are building businesses they love, not just creating another job that steals all of their time and makes you miserable. Right? That's the goal, right? We want to get to that place. As you can see, I am solo today as Kylene is busy serving veterans at her day job at the VA. She's a vocational rehab counselor. And this is also recorded because we are blessed to be off to another volleyball weekend. This time we're going to be in Milwaukee today on this Saturday when you're watching this. This happens to be Thursday when I'm recording this. But my hope is that I can bring you some practical, real-world strategies that will help take your business to the next level. Whether you're tuning in to the quote-unquote live when it's playing here on Saturday at noon, or you are catching a replay later on, you are part of a community that's all about growth, connection, and making every day in our business count. I would invite you to share this with other entrepreneurs or maybe some would-be entrepreneurs that you know. And then also, as the kids say, and hold on, let me check. Going to my source. Yes, the kids still say this. I don't know if this is actually true, but as the kids say, smash the like button, hit subscribe. And honestly, what I would say is just share some love for this weekly program. I hope it's helping you. And we put a lot of effort into this. And I know you guys put a lot of effort into your business and what you do. And so it's always good to have some recognition, but a great way to help us out is just make sure that you put this out in front of other people and tell people what you get out of this each and every week. So I want to dive right in. Since this is recorded, we're going to try to get through some stuff and we won't have any interaction going on directly. But if you comment along the way, I will make sure that I get in there and reply to all the comments, get in, any questions you have, any ideas, anything that doesn't make sense, whatever that is, make sure that you're putting those in the comments there. All right. So let's start with the mindset pillar. And for those of you that are new to Small Business Saturdays, we always have 3 pillars. They're always in some different combination of orders, but mindset, fundamentals or foundation, and then wellness. And today we're going to actually start with mindset. And a lot of times we do. But building a business that we love starts with alignment. And the reason for this is we need to connect to our why. A great author, a book that I love, is a book by a gentleman named Simon Sinek. It's called Start With Why. And it's just a great kind of reframe of how we look at what we do each day, business world, how we connect with our customers, all of that stuff. He basically is talking about the fact that we think it starts with the other way around. Right. But the reality is it starts with why we do what we do. And that's what people connect with. And so my point is our why is bigger than making money. In fact, I'm going to go to page 39 in our book here to break this down for you guys. So of the fundamentals of business success, if you go to page 39 here, I break down. So there's this tool called the 5 Whys. It's something from Toyota. You can read more about it in the book on page 38. But if you have a problem or something you're trying to solve for, as in, why am I doing this? Why did I start this business? Then use this. Okay. So the root question or problem we're trying to solve is, why did you start this business? And again, that first answer might be to make money. Okay. And the way this works is we're going to ask why 5 times. All right. So Answer one, to make money. Okay, so the first why question we might ask is, why do you need to start this business to make money? And your next answer might be to provide for your family. The second why question could be something along the lines of, why become an entrepreneur in this space over a business or a job? Two, so I can provide for my family on my own terms. See, we're getting a little deeper here. All right. The third one might be, why is providing on your terms so important to you? And the answer could be, because I didn't like watching someone ruin my hard work just because they owned the business. Okay. So the next why question could be, why did that matter to you? And the answer could be, because I take pride in my work. I take pride in the effort that I put into things. And then the last why question could be, why is pride in your work so important? Because I value customer centricity. Ooh, that's a hard word. I value customer centricity over policy. There we go. So I finally got out. All right. As you can see, making money to valuing being customer centric over policies and sticking to those policies. Now I've got a value, right? Now I've got a real deep why for why this is important to me. So interestingly enough, I use that as an example, but that was actually how I went through the process of breaking this down. I was worried for a very long time that I did not have a purpose. I was just kind of meant to be, hardworking guy that kind of kept his head down and stayed out of the way. Okay. But what I realized is that we're actually put on earth with certain strengths, things that you're good at. And the epiphany that I had was that those strengths actually tell you what your purpose is, right? If you were given these strengths, then you're meant to use them. You're meant to share them. If you think about a fruit tree, right? So think about your strengths as fruit from a fruit tree. Well, a fruit tree does not grow fruit to feed itself, right? A fruit tree grows fruit so others can have it, and right. And then we want to tend to that fruit tree, and it grows. So we were put on this earth with these strengths. And so connecting with why is also connecting with those strengths. And I think the part that is even more valuable is it's so freeing knowing that it's okay to have superpowers, right? Where we're kind of told to, not be braggadocious, and right? To have superpowers doesn't mean you're bragging. To have superpowers means you're using them for the good, the greater good, right? And so from that place, now we can stop focusing on our weaknesses and build a business based on what we're good at, not just what might make us money, right? So there's the first mindset. Just connect to that why. Be really connected to that. And then the second part of this is the power of alignment for clarity. Because once we've gotten clear about what our strengths, values, and passions are, and we've created that why, or what we call in our success group our reason, because our reasons have to be bigger than our excuses. See, when we're in alignment with that, decision making is much, much easier. It eliminates the stress of trying to be something that you're not. And so we can easily make decisions. I don't have to kind of decipher, is this the right thing for me? I'm just trying to make money. Is this going to make me money? Well, if it is, the question becomes, does this align with who I am and the business I'm trying to create and the business I'm going to love and be proud of each and every day? Then it's very easy to go, do this? Yes. Do this? No, right? Because they're out of alignment. And so we can make those decisions much quicker. And then the last part of mindset here is to think about the actions that you take daily. Are they have tos or are they get tos? And I've talked about that, and Kylene and I have talked about that on Small Business Saturday. We've talked about it in Rising Tide Talks. But what are the things that you have to do? And think about that, right? Why do you have to do it? You're the only one that can answer that. But can you convert that into a have to? Can you make can you convert that from a have to into a get to? So maybe, one of the things you have to do is you have to be on social media. I have to market my business. But what if you shifted when you're in alignment and you shift to get to say something like, I get to share my expertise and build connections, right? That's what social media is all about. And when you come from that place, just think how much easier it's going to be to create, to do, to take the action and move forward. So that's the mindset. I want to make sure that you reframe your work from have to get to. Make sure that you understand that clarity is powerful, and that alignment brings that clarity. And then most importantly, connect to your why. Okay, so there's the first pillar. Now, the second pillar here is the wellness pillar we're going to talk about today. Now, again, as a reminder for everyone, when we talk about wellness, it's not just, doing your exercise and eating right? That's part of wellness, but we look at business owners as a holistic person. What's your overall wellness from your mental, your physical, your spiritual, your business life balance, your energy levels because you're healthy, that type of thing. And one thing that we know about aligning with our SVPs or our passions, our why, is it brings more joy into your day-to-day operations, right? And when you do that, when you bring passion along, it reduces burnout first and foremost. Burnout's a very difficult thing that a lot of business owners have to deal with because you're wearing all the hats. You don't have maybe the support that you think you deserve, et cetera, et cetera. And so we come across burnout probably more frequently than others might. Now, here's the reality though. It's not that to-do list. It's not the lack of support. It's not any of those labels that you're putting on it. Because here's why I believe that to be true. Think about times when you're in flow, right? When things are working, you're just like going, man, you're feeling it, and you're taking action, you're doing things, right? That is not because your list is smaller or because you found some magic bullet. It is you living in your passion. You lose all track of time doing it because you love doing that thing so much. So the opposite of that is this idea of hustle, grind, struggle, right? And that's what generates the burnout. It's not this magic bullet fix, right? So if you understand that being aligned with your strengths, values, and passions, being aligned with your reason in your business will bring this joy, right? Then all that struggle, hustle, grind, you don't have to do that, right? We don't have to work harder, you guys. This is the thing I'm trying to get across to people. It's not about working harder. No amount of working harder is going to create any more success, right? You're just faking it. And when you're faking it, it's that wall is going to crumble at some point, right? And why have that lack of foundation when you can put a little extra action, you can put a little more passion into the front end of your business and build a foundation that brings that passion with you, right? Now, I want to be really clear, this is not to say you're not going to have to do hard things when you align your business, right? You're still, in fact, you're probably going to end up doing more hard things because you are aligned. But when you lead with that passion, when you are aligned, those hard things seem more manageable. There's a purpose behind them. You're willing to risk pushing up against that comfort zone when you're aligned with who you are as a person, with your values, your strengths, and your passions. All right. The other part of wellness here is the value-driven decisions that you get to make once you do understand what your values are, once you build your business around your values. Because what happens for a lot of business owners is they go out there and they think, I have to do this. I have to follow what this person says. Oh, well, here's a really good strategy that I use. And so I have to do that because he's very successful or she's very successful. Right. And what that ends up doing is it pushes us to operate outside of our values. And this is actually something that's been scientifically studied, and it's called cognitive dissonance, when you're operating outside of your values. And so this is, when we're doing something that we dislike, or we're being forced to lie or go against our moral values, right? That's all kind of encompassed in this cognitive dissonance. And from that state, the science has proven that in that emotional place there, you manifest stress and anxiety. Right? Right. Do you feel stressed? Do you feel anxious? Right. And so it comes from being out of alignment. And that chronic stress releases cortisol and adrenaline. Right. We want the cortisol. We want the adrenaline when we're in like that fight or flight. I have to, oh my gosh, I have to protect my family, or I have to run away from the saber-toothed tiger. Right. We want that in small doses. But when we're out of alignment, we're basically in that stress response all the time. And prolonged release of those cortisol and adrenaline chemicals in our body causes high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, and diabetes. And here's the thing, like, that's scientifically proven. I can send you the links to where they studied this stuff, but I can also tell you, I know this to be true. Right? I can't remember the exact date of the whole thing. I'm terrible with remembering that kind of timeline thing, but I can show you the picture of me in the emergency room because my high blood pressure got so high, I thought my head was going to explode. Right. And it's because I was out of alignment with who I am. It was right before we started our success group. I was kind of doing things that, I thought were right, and what this wanted to have happen. And it put me in the emergency room at 2:00 in the morning. Right? So I know this to be true. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing it with you, because once you get back in alignment, boy, it changes everything, including your health. And the other kind of nice side effect, so to speak, of this is creating a business that you love then allows you more space and grace and joy to prioritize family time, to prioritize flexibility, to prioritize collaboration. Right? All of these things are amazing. I get to record this today, and I don't feel any stress or anxiety about the fact that I'm not showing up live, because I still get to share my gift. I still get to make these decisions. I'm aligned with my values. My value was to share these things with you. Does it matter if I'm live? No. Would I prefer to be live? Absolutely. So we can have that conversation. So I'm counting on you guys to comment, and let's have that conversation after this Saturday. But it creates a ton of balance and joy. So the wellness aspect of this is also really, really important. And you can see how getting our business in alignment with who we are really changes things for us physically as well. Now, speaking of health benefits, who is ready to commit to their success? Who's ready to commit to their alignment? Who's ready to commit to their mental health? Because if that is you, if you're saying, yeah, me, then please take a look at this. I have this perfect retreat. I am super excited to be able to work with Becky, who talked about collaboration just a moment ago. Becky Kotzer, who you might know from the Rising Tide Talks on Wednesday night. We've got this collaboration that we're doing. She is the hostess with the mostest, I'd say, and it's called Summit of Success, or SOS. Yes, that is a play on words there. As a business owner, we need to send out that SOS. So this is the perfect retreat for you. Hear from Becky here real quick.
Imagine a place where ideas ignite, strategies align, and leaders rise. This is your Summit of Success. Elevate your business, elevate your life. This isn't just a retreat, it's a turning point. Your chance to step back, refocus, and return with unstoppable clarity and confidence. Register now at osg.link/SOS and join us April 10th through the 12th at the Summit of Success Retreat. Let's build your business together.
All right. Well, let me know if you're interested, or you know what? I don't want to put you on the spot like that. If this is something that might be a valuable opportunity for you, I'd love to connect you with Becky, so you guys just have a conversation. Right? She's not a salesperson. She's not going to sell you anything. I'm not a salesperson. That's not what we do. We just want to have that conversation with you to see if this might be right for you. So if that is the case, go ahead and put in the comments SOS, And I will make sure to connect you. If you want to reach out to me, you can also do that directly, so you don't have to worry about the comments, but just comment SOS if that might be something that you could find some value in here coming up April 10th through the 12th. All right, so let's keep going here. I want to now get to our fundamentals pillar. And when we're talking about fundamentals today, I think we've covered this SVP thing from okay, what is it? Why it's important. Now let's talk about how we can align that to our business structures. And next week we'll go even deeper, but let's get into that. Let's kind of start making that transition. And then next week we can go really deep when Kylene and I are back live. But let's start with aligning your tasks with your strengths. Like, I know it sounds like, wow, okay, simple, but the reality is we don't do that enough. Like, when was the last time you went through your to-do list? Right, because our to-do list is a have to. These are all the things I have to do. You've labeled them as have to. That's why it made it to your to-do list. But what if you changed your to-do list into a get to list? Right? So remove the have to label and put the get to label on it. So go through your list. What are areas of strength for you? And then identify on your list, what are those things? And you're going to find that when you're going through a list, you're going, oh yeah, I can't wait to do that. I can't wait to do that. I can't wait to do that, because you're good at it, because it's your strength. Right. And then when I heard this, when I thought about this, when this popped into my mind, I kind of almost went like, focus more on that. Right. I know that there's things that we have to do. They're not going to go away. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit more next week. But why not schedule in those get to things? And then the other have to fires you can kind of deal with as they come. You might find that some of the have to things actually could go away when you're in flow. Right? You might find ways around them. You might find solutions, or you might realize that it's okay to delegate or outsource some of those things. It's okay to automate some of those things. You might find that a lot of those have tos are just other people's ideas of have tos. And so I would say to the have tos, well, why? Have you asked why? Why do I have to do that? Right? Because even our taxes, for example, we don't have to do our taxes. We don't even have to pay our taxes. Now, there are repercussions to not paying your taxes. So we're going to pay our taxes because we don't want to deal with the repercussions. But the reality is there's nothing that you have to do. This is your business, and you can run it the exact way that you want to run it. And whatever way you're running it is exactly right. Now, looking for opportunities to thrive, right? Because you're also the only one that can answer the question, well, why am I not successful? What am I not doing? What am I pretending not to know? So just take a look at your list and go, okay, what do I get to do? And then focus more on that. And then once you focus more on that, you're going to have more energy. And maybe some of the things that still end up on the have to side of the table, they're a little easier to do because you know that there's more get tos to come. So that's first. Secondly, here, I want you to create a vision of the business that you love. If you were participating in the Goals to Reality webinar series and did the workbook stuff, and honestly, in the workshops, we dove pretty deep into this. But write down make it like you're a movie script writer, and describe in detail what your ideal business looks like. Right. And you want to describe it in such detail that you can literally feel it inside of you from an emotional state, right? In your heart, but also to that point of excitement, right? Like described in such detail that you've got this excitement. Now, there's a technique that we use called VAST, it's visual, auditory, smell, and touch, that really helps get those senses flowing. But I would highly recommend you do that. If you don't have that, right now, that may be the thing that's holding you back. That may be the alignment that you need, because once you can clearly see that, now you start making decisions differently, you start acting differently, you start doing things differently. And then the next thing here, it kind of goes along the same lines though, is we need to stop copying gurus and we need to build what works for you. And the reality is, and you know this to be true, there's no single formula that's going to fit everyone. So when you're following a strategy or structure that doesn't align with your SVPs, with your reason, you're going to lose that authenticity that you need to be successful. And you're often going to feel very frustrated and very drained, right? Like, that person made it work. Why can't I? Right? We start having those conversations in our head. And in fact, here's a bold statement for you. Even the information that I'm sharing, maybe even especially, you need to make your own opinion about it. But ultimately, you have to define success on your terms. And so success looks different for everyone, right? So for some, it's really about growth and scale and the empire and all that stuff, right? And that's perfectly okay. For others, it's about creating something that allows you more work-life balance, right? Or creative freedom. That can be whatever that is for you. So when you define your success based on your SVPs, your strengths, values, and passions, you're going to feel more fulfilled. And then when you're feeling more fulfilled, you have less pressure to compare yourself to others. I mean, heck, even I know I put my perception on other people. It's just human nature, right? And I want to be aware of that, but I don't think that I'm ever going to be able to change that human nature. I'm a sinner. That's the way it goes, right? And so there's times where I feel like I want more for others than they want for themselves. But the reality is only you can define your success. Let me say that one more time. Only you can define your success. So to kind of wrap this up, what I would encourage you to do is use inspiration strategically, not as a prescription, not as do this and you will be successful. Because we all do it, right? We watch the reels, there are the TikToks, and yes, all of that stuff can be super helpful. Here's how I built my business. Here's how to get your business to 100K in a year. Yes, they have strategies that are going to work. We need to learn these things. But looking at how others do it is inspirational for sure. But inspiration from others shouldn't dictate how you run your business, right? We need to use it to spark creativity. So trying to copy someone else's path doesn't work because their strengths, values, and passions are different from yours. So let me leave you with a couple practical tips when it comes to using inspiration strategically, not prescriptively. All right. So first and foremost, make sure that you're following leaders and businesses that you admire. Right? And when we focus on learning why they made their decision, not just what they did, that's where the real magic happens, right? Because most of us look at that stuff and go, okay, what did they do? I'm going to copy that. I'm guilty as charged. But what we really need to do is go, why did they make their decision to do that? How was that aligned to who they are in their business? And then how can I look at my business in that way and maybe potentially use that inspiration to change something that I'm doing? Right. So maybe there's a business that you follow that's quote unquote a competitor. And so think about it this way. Instead of copying that competitor's product bundle, ask yourself, well, how can I create something that's unique to my strengths and meets my customers' needs, right? Oh, I love the idea of a product bundle, but I'm not going to copy that. I'm going to use a couple of my things because this is aligned to them, and I'm not going to price it like that. We're going to do what's right for you. So that's the tip. Hopefully that helps. And I believe that when you align your business with your strengths, values, and passions, you are going to have a business that you love. So it is time to put what you learned into action. You guys get out there. Remember that there is no better time to start than right now. We are so grateful to have you here with us every Saturday at noon, showing up for yourself and your businesses. We're going to be back live next week. I'm 99.9% sure. I can't make promises for Kylene, but I'm 99.9% sure she will be with me next week. And so we will get back together live and in person next week. And we are going to continue this deep dive into SVPs. This, depending on how it goes next week, this could be a two-parter, but at least one part here where we're going to walk through the SVP process together. I actually have these calls with people, and so maybe you haven't had a chance to go through that yet and you're really not sure. Kylene and I are going to do that together and kind of role play it a little bit. And then we're going to get into even more specifics about how to align your business with your strengths, values, and passions. We're going to use the SVP for structures like product and service mix, customer policies, hiring, and more. So lots of good stuff next week. So tune back in and make sure that you comment that you're going to be joining us. A rising tide does lift all boats. We are here to lift each other up every week. And as Kylene reminds us, lasting change comes from positive energy. So gratitude is your superpower, and so embrace that. We will see you in the Facebook group at osg.link/group for even more support and connection. But until next week, that was Small Business Saturdays for today, and look forward to seeing you again next week.
Dark days, overwhelmed, trapped in a maze. Small business owner, stress had me in the daze. Every problem piled up, couldn't catch a break. Thought I couldn't make it, my dreams were at stake. But then I found a group that changed my whole perspective. Our success group of a community so effective. We all chasing that dream, sharing struggles and fears. They understood my journey, wiped away my tears. Together we broke through.